Hello. Welcome to the new Hack Engineering work van. Where do we start with this thing? You've probably seen it on Instagram, potentially. I bought it probably 3 or 4 months ago now. I haven't done much mileage in it for reasons we will discuss shortly. Basically bought this as the cheapest 6-pot diesel E91 I could find, and to be honest, just getting off one of the cheapest E91s I could find, full stop. The reason I wanted one was we had a little work van. It's a Fiat Punto van, very rare, but the timing chain went and it just wasn't worth fixing. We also had a Transit. Got rid of that, just didn't use it enough. So wanted to get something that was a sensible daily and could be used by all of us here for transporting whatever it may be around the country in some sort of comfort and some sort of style. And yeah, set myself a bit of a budget. That budget could have bought really quite a nice E91. I looked at a couple of Alpinas, some really quite nice cars, and then this one came up really cheap. And for some reason, something in my brain decided it was a good idea to buy that instead of one that was actually nice. So what we're going to do today is do a quick intro on this car and run through some of the, well, the good, the bad and the ugly basically, and there's not a lot of good. So come and have a look, I'll show you around it. Starting with the exterior, part of what caught my eye with this is it's got F30, F31, you know, that 3/4 series wheels on it, which actually suit it really quite well. It doesn't seem to be lowered, but it looks like it might be. We'll find out once we get it on the ramp. But this is where it's good from far, far from good. If you come in closer to this front wheel here, you get a good example of some of the horribleness of this car. So that is completely square, cracked. Amazingly, it seems to hold air fairly well. Nice budget tyres that have been torn to shreds, really cheap. The other 3 wheels seem alright. I actually got a spare front with it, so I do have a spare front to swap this tyre onto, except I don't think that tyre's any good, so it's going to need new tyres. Do also have the original wheels from it. They've got completely rotten tyres on them, so they're also no good. And then the bodywork as a whole, we spent quite a long time with a load of DAX products, and we've managed to bring it up very well, considering it's covered in mud, oil, tree sap, general road grime, and generally needed a good polish. But we've got a few other little bodywork blemishes, shall we say. Bumper graze, bumper damage, scuff there, headlights in need of a polish, curbing there, potentially alarming amount of wheel weights, cracked windscreen, perished rubber trims, gaping hole, this as well, and this, and this, and this, and the second most annoying bit, and then the most annoying bit. Moving on to the interior. We have already spent so much time cleaning this because everything was sticky, and I don't just mean a bit grimy, I mean full on sticky. It was disgusting. All the ashtrays were full of mud, everything was just disgusting. I didn't really want to touch anything. But as for actual faults with it really, the steering wheel leather is all horrible. The wood trim's all sort of cracked and not very nice. Got a missing little slider on there. The aircon doesn't work, the radio doesn't work, this cup holder doesn't come out. I was left lots of gifts from the previous owner, including an Akon CD, which, when the radio doesn't work, gets a bit repetitive. It's got a homemade aux lead added. We haven't cleaned this out yet. It's also disgusting in there. And then if you go to the back of the center console as well, all of the colour's missing and has come off. And you can see there's lots of sort of dents in the leather. The dog guard works okay. I don't know. I think the dirt was the main thing in here. It's literally like he owned 50 dogs and they come in here all the time. That's kind of it for the interior. Let's have a quick look under the bonnet and then we'll go for a drive and I'll show you some more alarming things about this car. Right, under the bonnet. Looks all right at first appearance. None of that's attached. We have actually attached that now. All of the engine covers were loose. This is all broken and loose. Bits like that are missing. A little sensor. Could be worse, could be a hell of a lot better. So yeah, a few bits and bobs still under here, nothing too drastic. What does need attention, however, is the clutch, as I will now demonstrate. This is maybe the one issue that the previous owner did admit, was I've got a slightly not good sounding clutch release bearing, so I'll now demonstrate. It sounds really cheap, but get in and we'll go for a drive. Right, here we are. First time I drove this, it felt pretty alright, obviously before I bought it. I knew it wasn't perfect, but I've done 1,500 miles now, if that, and let's just say some of the faults are bubbling to the surface. So radio doesn't work, that's really quite annoying. It's quite common for these to have an aerial problem, which is in the sort of top part of the tailgate. So I've changed that. Unfortunately, it hasn't fixed it, so I need to get some time to have more of a look into it. In the meantime, the CD changer at least works, so that's good.
Do you want to tell the people about the fun that you had trying to get into the car at home?
Oh yeah, that is very true. So central locking or like remote locking problems are relatively common on E9Xs, especially E91s where the aerial's in the tailgate roof. So central locking didn't work. The guy I bought it off kept that very well hidden, but every time I viewed the car, he was waiting with the car with it unlocked both times, so shafted me there nicely, thank you. So relying on obviously the mechanical key in the door, locked the car one evening having driven home, went to unlock it the next day and the key turned, but nothing happened. And what happened was the shaft between the barrel and the actual actuator had worn out, so the car was permanently trying to lock itself. So me and Andy from the workshop, he came down to visit one morning. We airbagged the window to get rods in here, did it all properly, or tried to do it all properly, but unfortunately it would lock straight away and we just could not get in. So we ended up smashing the passenger window. Ta-da! You'd have thought people would be a bit alarmed seeing someone smash into a car with a hammer, but people just walked by like nothing was happening. Maybe a word of wisdom for everyone. This car was really annoying me and I didn't want to spend any money on it to begin with. So I tried a few eBay lock repair kits and none of them fitted correctly. So word of warning, don't bother with them. I ended up just getting BMW parts, which are available on our website if you search by part number, and that fixed it, and the door lock's been absolutely fine ever since. The stickiness is gone, which is a huge plus. Before, I literally drive this pretty much trying not to touch it, which was disgusting. I mean, it's pretty alright really. The car actually drives quite well, apart from that clutch noise, which is horrendous. Got a slight problem under braking. This thing vibrates violently if you're braking hard on an uneven surface, which is absolutely terrifying, and I think is tie rod or front bushes of some sort. So I'm going to just replace the whole front arm selection with Mylar, and then I'll also work through a bit of a list, see what else we find wrong with it, and go from there really. So we'll get it up on the ramp shortly, and then I will reveal the full horrors probably of this machine. Right, first steps for this horrible touring are to just make sure the engine fluids and filters are good. So we've got K&N air filter to go in it. Just waiting for the ramp, and then we'll get up on the ramp and we'll also give it an oil change with genuine BMW oil and filter. And then we just know that it's got fresh fluids, it's not going to be doing itself any harm. And while we're up on the ramp, we'll have a look around it and make probably an enormous list of all the other bits we need to fix. So first things first on the floor, I'm just going to get this K&N air filter in. Be interested to see how old the old one is, and also where this car has been mapped. Helping it breathe a little bit is always going to be good. I also love K&N because rather than dispose of this, next time it comes to a service, we can just wash it and reuse it. So yeah, first things first, we'll get that in, and then we'll crack on from there. Always a reassuring sign when there's part of your fuse box just dangling around in your engine bay. That's supposed to slide out nicely. That air filter does not look very new at all to me. It's actually slightly starting to fall apart. Go rotten, bolt missing at the back. That wasn't attached properly, the front piece wasn't attached properly. Poorly maintained cars are just a nightmare. If you have a car, whether it's daily driver, track car, whatever, just getting it looked after properly by professionals, you've just got to do it. You've got to do it. But let's crack on, see where we're at. Now time to get it up on the ramp and see what horrors await us with this terrible car. Got some oil here, which is all coming out of the turbo by the looks of things. That looks like it's got a bit of a tear in it. Maybe not right through, but that's the boost leak waiting to happen there. Nothing looks too terrible. We've obviously got this steering movement, but to be honest, I'm going to replace all 3 arms and drop links anyway. Under trays are all missing. I haven't removed anything from this, which is great. The rear end looks pretty right. Usual bit of crustiness for a E91, but not too bad. Looks like probably all 4 shocks are a bit leaky as well. Got a nice big section of torn out under tray here, which is lovely. Shows the level of care it's had. It's had a fuel filter at some point, maybe a good sign. Yeah, could be worse. I'm going to crack on with getting these arms changed and giving it an oil change. Yeah, I mean, those bushes are just not great. Difficult to show on camera, but everything's just a bit tired. You can see how much movement there is on the wheel, and you know, I'm not putting a lot of force onto that, so it's probably going to explain the braking judder, but start pulling it apart and see what else we've got. It's quite difficult to show how that feels, but it's definitely got some play in it. And if you can see in there, got quite a bit of perishing around there. Yeah, they're pretty buggered, to be honest.
Yeah?
Yeah. Touring's done. So we've got Mailer HD, complete tyre rod set inner and outer. Someone forgot to order a boot kit, so really old boots, not torn or anything. They just obviously don't look as nice. Mailer HD arm here, normal Mailer arm here. They don't do an HD version for whatever reason, but knowing Mailer stuff, that'll probably outlast the rest of the car anyway. It's quite tempted to do these, or Millway make these, we sell them, that carry a BMW ball joint, and it gets rid of that bush completely, which is quite nice, but it's only a daily driver, so there's no point going mad on it. But it all actually came apart pretty right. A few days have passed. Here's some nice BMWs, and in the distance, parked in the car park, you'll see the E91. So last week we did all Mailer front control arms, so tie rods and the 2 pairs of control arms. I gave it an oil change using genuine BMW oil and filter, K&N air filter, and then a few other little odds and sods fixing, you know, replacing screws and clips and things like that. And also not filmed, we changed the CAS module, so that controls all of the immobiliser key, everything like that. Coded all of that in, tested that, then found that the problem was the key as well, so I got a new key for it, and shock horror, you can actually now unlock this car with the button, which is an almost perfect fix because all the doors work apart from the driver's one. So I've got a new actuator waiting to go on that, and then that'll be that fixed. But yeah, the E91 is so much nicer to drive now. The engine's a lot quieter as well, which is a bit alarming, so who knows what oil was in it before and how long it had been there. But yeah, I've been doing lots of mileage in it now, now that I don't have the alarm going off every time. And it's a good car, I really enjoy driving it. Now we're going to get in and just go for a quick drive and show you the difference. What a nice place to be. Yeah, it's cost so much better since doing the arms, so I think I've struggled to really show it on camera before, but before you'd brake and the steering wheel would nearly vibrate out of your hands, whereas now it's all lovely and it stops much straighter, doesn't vibrate, doesn't clonk at the front, and because we used Mailer arms, I sort of know that they're going to last probably for the rest of the life of this car, to be honest. So that's really good. I need to get the alignment done. At the moment it is aligned by eye, which I don't really recommend. And yeah, the engine is so much quieter, just in general sort of engine noise, than before. So it's, yeah, running genuine BMW 5W30 LL04. But yeah, it's good, and it drives so nicely. It's other than everything being a bit battered and not very nice, it has made such a huge difference doing those front arms. I used to run all the Mailer HD stuff on my E36 track car, which some of you may know of, sadly long gone, but I would do a lot of track days in that car and at tracks like Castle Combe where it's quite rough going, and I'd destroy every brand of arm apart from Mailer HD, so I know they are good. I don't really know what else to say. It's just a good car. It felt terrible, now it feels like a really good car, so really enjoying putting the mileage on it, and looking forward to doing a few more bits. So we're going to, it has been mapped already. We've had a look at the file and literally just everything's turned off. Limp mode has been essentially deleted. It all looks pretty sketchy, so going to sort out a bit of a map for it. I think we can probably push a bit more from it, but we'll get onto that next time, I reckon. To be honest, when I bought this car, a week in I really regretted it. I kind of thought, what have I bought? Should have spent a bit more money, got something better. But now we've just done those little bits, it's kind of showing that it maybe has the potential to be a just about alright car, and I'm starting to fall a little bit in love with it, so see how we go. In the meantime, I'm just going to stick more mileage on this car and really enjoy driving it. See you next time.